Hey everybody, happy Wine Wednesday. Kevin and Robin here, and this week we are featuring a lot of my favorite things. One of those is wines that are on really great deals, and the other one is
Like cheap wine.
Palasa. Right?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot more going on in Barolo than just Barolo, right?
Yeah.
So Piedmont has all kinds of wines, and I think when we think of Piedmont, we automatically think to Barolo, Barbaresco, maybe if you're a bit of a wine geek, like things like Arnase, but there's all kinds of great, interesting grape varieties there that aren't always at the super premium level, right? And I think Palasa is one of the wineries that really showcases those better than anyone else.
Yeah, I think we fall guilty to really just focusing in on those higher end wines that are coming out of the region, because that's really kind of what we know and what we think about.
Hey, they're fun to drink.
They're fun to drink and they're delicious. But they also really do a lot of great inexpensive wines, and we were lucky enough to find Palasa not all that long ago, and they do some fantastic little blends that are kind of at that entry level price point of $25.95.
Cute little label with the bike too.
Oh yeah.
I'm a big fan of this wine, and when I looked at the grape varieties that make this up, I wasn't sure I was going to be. I didn't actually order a lot of it the first time around because I wasn't sure how these grapes were going to come together. But I was really pleasantly surprised because this wine speaks really about the region more than it does the varietals, at least for me. What do you think?
I would agree. I mean, I think this is fantastic. We are blending a little bit of international varietals in here. There is a little Cab, there's a little Merlot, and then there's, of course, Barbera, which is also known for this area. But they make it in just such an approachable way. It's not overly heavy, it's not overly extracted, it's just really, really well balanced, easy to sip on its own, and super barbecue friendly too.
How's this for a descriptor? It smells Italian. I don't know what that means, but I've had a lot of Italian wine in my life, and some of it, sometimes when you get those international varietals like Cab or Merlot, they kind of sneak away from being Italian, and they just kind of smell like they could come from anywhere, right? But this one has a distinctly Italian character to it, so I'll try to describe that a little better. It smells a little more like that, like bright cherry, maybe like a hint of that kind of like leather piece to it. It has that I don't know, there's something about it that just makes me think this is definitely Italian.
The other really distinctive thing with Italian wines is the balance of acidity with fruit and body and weight and everything about the wine, and you can definitely pick that up when you have that. It's got that brightness and freshness.
It's hard to do, right? Because we talk about acidity and people want to run and hide, but really it's the one thing that makes wine and food go together. It's the thing that kind of keeps your mouth refreshed and alive, and it really makes the wine kind of bright. And when wines lose that, they kind of get heavy and dull and kind of sweet. And this one really does a phenomenal job of keeping that really that nice line of freshness and just lots of character. And it's like what, 20?
It's $25.
$25.
You can't go wrong.
It's almost impossible to find wines from Piedmont at that price point, so it's really a rarity in that. And I think it's an overlooked sort of everyday pizza wine. Like, man, it's hard to beat that. And there's more in the lineup. The white is fantastic. It's I think it's Arnase, Chardonnay, and Favorita. Is that still
that's still
what they're working with? Yeah. So aromatic, really pretty, just nice and fresh. If you like Sauvignon Blanc but want something a little less green and a little more character to it, I think this is just an amazing buy at that same price point, $25. And then the rosé. If you haven't had this yet, you're missing out.
You're missing out.
I feel like we get on here and we go like, this is my favorite wine a lot. But this is my absolute...
Can't help it if there's so many great wines.
If you went into my history in the computer and looked at everything I've bought in the last year, you would see a pile of this on there. And the reason for that is Nebbiolo rosé is pretty rare, right? I don't think we've had another one in the shop.
This was the first one that we've had.
And it's got that nice light color to it. Nebbiolo has a very light skin, but it has a lot of flavor in the grape, right? Which makes interesting rosé because you don't have to do a lot of extraction. You don't have to get a lot of color before you start to get a lot of flavor. And with this one, you really get the essence of what Nebbiolo is, right? You get that kind of floral note, that bit of violet, that really nice kind of spicy thing it picks up, and it really reminds me of a Bandol rosé style. Like, it has that power and that real drive to it, but it's at $29.95, it's not inexpensive rosé, but man, it competes with those $40, $50 ones. all day long.
Well, it still has that level of the acidity, that like big scary word that really is exactly what we want, though. It keeps it fresh and it keeps it bright, and you have to have that minimal skin contact where you get the tannin along with it. So it's really like they do a wonderful job of playing that balance.
They really do, and I do a wonderful job of drinking a lot of it because I love this wine. And if you haven't had it, it's more than just a beautiful package. It's an absolute banger rosé, and you got to try that.
Absolutely.
And we got a few sale wines for the rest of the month too.
We do. So every month we're doing a few wines on a big discount for you, just because we are all looking for those good deals right now. And we've got about 1 week left in May, so I wanted to remind you guys that we do have these wonderful sale wines. We've got a couple that are knocked $5 off and a couple at $10 off. Nice. So I mean, $19.95 now for some Cremant de Bourgogne, 100% Chardonnay, traditional method, checking all the boxes. If you're gonna have bubbly this summer, come in and grab some.
$10 off.
We've got some light and juicy reds. You can even pop them down in the fridge for a few minutes, chill them down for 15, 20, and that's going to be really fresh and bright as the days get hotter and you are still looking for some red wine, a little Saint Laurent, and of course some Provence rosé, because we always need a little more rosé.
Yeah, great deals on all those guys.
Yeah, they are online as well.
All right, you don't even have to leave the couch. Store them up. Irv will be there.
You have some sneaky treats.
Oh, I do. Yeah, I couldn't help but bring these on. So we've been working with Lambert. If you've been shopping here, you probably recognize these labels. We've had these in for, I guess, almost a couple of years now. They just fly out of here. They really are absolute staff favorites. So we've got the Côte de Vide, which is single vineyard Chenin Blanc, and the Clos d'Etoile, which we've never had before. This is kind of their top dog red that they do, single vineyard monopole, and that's Cabernet Franc, but like you've never had before. So they were kind enough to send us some Magnums and some back vintage Magnums. So we've got some 2016s, some 2015s, some 2017s. To come down to really see what we've got, but we've got some really interesting mags from Lambert, as well as all the 750s back. So if you're a Lambert fan, and hey, if you got a mouth, you probably are, come on in and probably be talked in and pop in a few of those, eh?
I think so. And I mean, if we're moving into summer and you haven't really explored Chenin Blanc, I would say that Lambert is doing some of the best Chenin Blanc I've ever had. And I genuinely mean that. So you must come in and try them. And if it's in a Magnum, it's just even better.
It's twice as much to love.
I know.
Right?
It's amazing.
There you go. Pinot tasting coming up.
Pinot tasting, June 10th. We've got tickets for our Pinot Palooza, our Pinot Festival. First year that we've hosted this one. You want to hop online and grab those tickets for sure. It's going to be a great time. 6 stations of wine, just a bunch of Pinot.
A bunch of food, a bunch of Pinot Noir. What could go wrong, right?
Nothing.
All right. Well, hopefully we'll see you at that one too.